Okay. Ta-da!
Good morning.
Hello! Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. If I sit up straight, I'm like tall. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and chillier than yesterday, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Hi.
Bye.
I'm distracted because I'm making a white squirrel. It's so fun and cute and little, and yeah, he's got a needle stuck in him, but he doesn't look like much yet. But I'm really distracted because we got in, and none of this is online. I am so sorry, but it's a lot of work. We got in cute little itty bitty guys. We got in 30 colors of this little itty bitty chenille. I once said, I know I'm jumping like way ahead of things, kind of, but I once said I would never bring chenille into the shop because the big chunky blankets people are making, it's hard to work with the big thick stuff, and it kind of falls apart and it all this. But this is for little amigurumi things, and this is the only reason I would bring it in.
It's DK weight, and
which means DK weight means thinner than you think DK weight would be.
Yeah.
For
and
chenille.
The hardest thing is there are 30 different colors to try and get it,
Like trying to get that online. Our online shop limits me to 12 pictures per listing. So 12 photos, 30 colors. Even if I wasn't going to take my own pictures, I still have to merge them. Anyway.
And we've been slammed for the past week.
Which is a good problem to have, Liz.
Yeah, good problem to have.
It's still a problem.
It means that not much else happens.
It means that and especially with pace of life and trying not to like exhaust ourselves after kind of feeling almost back to normal, maybe.
Yeah.
With some holes in our brain still. That means we can't be working outside of shop hours as hard as we used to, and so it's like, yeah. And it's hard to like we have Hannah, but it's hard to have someone else be doing some of the stuff I'd like her to take off my plate. I have her take other things off my plate. Anyway, enough complaining. But we have all this cool stuff, and we can't show it to you yet, or you have to call the shop about it, or email us about it, because it's just very challenging to get it online. So, nuts and bolts, and then we'll talk to Liz about what she's doing. Nuts and bolts is we are still doing our once a week virtual evening sit and stitch on Tuesdays from 7 to 8 U.S. Eastern Time, and you can get in with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
It's on Zoom. When it asks for a meeting code, you put in our shop phone number, and then we go, hello, and join, and yay, and yeah. So, and our next, no show notes, people. Our the virtual and in-person classes for Brioche are going very well. I'll try to show you what I'm working on Brioche-wise. I'm squirreling and doing much more than just Brioche right now. But if you want to jump into the virtual classes, the one about Brioche in the Round has just happened last Sunday. And you can still get that recording if you pay the fee for all the classes. You can jump into Brioche Flat is coming up in just about a week and a half. I will be referencing things about Brioche in the Round. It won't be a like learning Brioche from scratch like session. It'll be so now that you know about Brioche in the Round, and I'm going to reference things you learned in that class, let's talk about what the next level of it is, which is Brioche where you have to turn your work back and forth. You have time to watch the first video. I have videos that aren't the pay ones, but you have time to catch up if you'd like to, if you want to be joining the virtual sessions down the road. And lastly, on the things going on online side, our next Sunday, just kind of sit and hang out time, is we picked April 14th.
April 14th.
which is
My birthday.
her birthday. So everyone's got to wish her happy birthday when they come on April 14th.
You don't. You really don't.
Yes, you do. No. Okay. But so that's happening in a few weeks. And this is the last week of March. This is kind of crazy. There's only a few days left of March. This year's been flying by.
Yeah.
I feel like. Like, it drags and it flies at the same time. Like, I feel like this week should already be over. But thank goodness it's not. So, Anyway. Okay. So that was all the nuts and bolts things.
I will say, for our local people,
yes,
the in-person Brioche classes are full.
They really are. I mean, you can call and check, but not everyone who's coming to the in-person is coming to every single session, but it's pretty much chock full at this point. The virtual ones can be as big as needed because more tiles. All sit and listen. Yay. In person, we try to keep it down to 4 to 5 people attending. Max 5, because that's what fits around the table, first of all. And second of all, after that, you're not going to get as individualized attention as it's a higher fee to come to in-person than to virtual. And part of that is because I can help you in person. And virtually, it's kind of hard to do that. So you're more just attending a lecture type of thing and asking questions. So, very good point.
I just wanted to say that because,
I stressed that what I was talking about was virtual, but Liz is clarifying that the in-person is not the same.
Yeah.
In terms of I could just pop it. No, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I am enjoying getting back to teaching though. It's really fun. It means I need to go to bed early every night, but it's been good to get back to teaching and lecturing and all that kind of stuff. That's been really good. So I always like to turn to Liz first and say, what have you been doing? Because otherwise, as already exhibited, I monopolize the conversation. So Liz, what are you up to?
Last week on Wednesday, I finally mailed off the things. So then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because so many options.
You don't know what you want to
work on next.
Yeah.
So many options.
I'm like, are you just meandering around the shop going, kind of.
Okay. I have lots and lots of projects, 193 I can work on for knitting. Mm-hmm. And I started spinning my hair, which is over there, and I didn't bring it over this morning. It's my May hair. I will show it off.
But you did just put this hair in this weekend.
I changed out my hair this weekend.
What color was your hair was green
My
last
hair
week,
was
right?
green, and now it's red.
Okay.
And
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, I put it up today just because, I don't know. But it's all red.
We can still see it. It's red.
It's all red. I changed out my nails. They are all dark and broody and sparkly. And that's awesome. And then yesterday, everybody was crocheting. Rebecca started crocheting her little guy. It's so cute and tiny. And
this is supposed to be square. And I'm like, ugh. And the pattern writers, I'll talk about it later. Sorry.
I have had this pattern for a while. It's supposed to be tiny, like 5 inches tall tops. It's a Grim Reaper.
It's a little Grim Reaper.
So, it's supposed to be done on fingering weight yarn with a 1.75 millimeter hook.
Yeah, okay, just for reference on that, hang on, let me get this bigger. So, this is a 3 millimeter hook. It's less than half the diameter of this one that I'm using. Is what her pattern calls for. This is how you can change what you're doing.
So, I didn't want an itty bitty. Well, an itty bitty would be fine if I didn't have to do it on such a tiny microscopic hook. So I found our Plymouth Bay. It is like super bulky on steroids. So it's like a number 7.
It's a jumbo. It's like a number 7.
And the needle size, because it didn't have a crochet size, but the needle size was a 12 millimeter needle. And I know that for amigurumi, you're supposed to go down at least a needle size or 2. So I'm on an 8 millimeter hook. Yeah. This is the bottom. It's 7 inches across the bottom of it. So, it builds kind of like a basket, and then you put the arms and the hood and everything on.
That's cool that it's got a base, though,
yeah.
so you can kind of see as you're going what's going on.
She recommends for the little one that you put like a plastic, trace around it and put like a plastic base in the bottom before you fill it to where it stands flat.
Okay.
And she said a capers lid, so like a little jar type plastic lid.
Oh, for hers. I'm
for
like,
hers.
that's going to be
So
teeny tiny.
that's
in
the
yours.
size of hers sitting
So
there.
she used like a spice lid
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And mine is 7 inches across. So hers might have been like
This is gonna be
2.5.
solid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And anyway, so yeah. It's my hat. I'm so excited. I'm making death.
And I'm sitting here trying to work on my little squirrel, and I find the fuzzy stuff, it's kind of hard to see your stitches. And so I have to count every row, and that doesn't really work when we're filming. To like listen to you and count, no.
I am just going off of I hope the numbers are right. Because
This, I was supposed to turn corners and make it square, and
Yeah.
it's kind of square. Again, the pattern writer is like, it's like clay. Once you stuff it, you can shape it. Keep that in mind. And I'm still trying to squish this thing square. And I'm like, really? Kind of. It's kind of square. Maybe the more I squish it before I put things on it, the squarer it'll get.
I'm having similar issues with me when I was counting because
Oh,
it's black.
And mine's white, so it's hard to see. Both
Like-
white and black. It's like, where's the stitches?
Yeah.
I was like, this one had 40 around, and I was counting, and I was like, I only have 39. Let me add in a stitch. And then on the next row, I'm like, I have 41. I must have counted wrong last time. So
Just remember,
None of
knitters
us
and
can-
crocheters.
none of us can count.
None of us can count.
None of us. We try. I have people in my Brioche class who are like, my number, like, I didn't end with the right stitch. Why is that? And I'm like, okay, either you got off in the row and they're like, I know I cast on the right number. And I'm like, but did you? And I don't mean that as any, like, attack on anybody. It's more of we all have trouble counting.
The day of your class, you were like, I've cast on the right number of stitches. And you got around and you were like, I did not cast on the right number of stitches.
I said, I'm not ending on the right one. And either I got off in the row, and when I did my next row to demonstrate, I was going to just combine some stitches if I'd done that. And when I got around, I went, nope, adding a stitch was right. I didn't count right. So it happens. So I guess I'll start with my little guy here. So I'm testing out, and I have to see, like, you can kind of see the holes. Like, if this wasn't white, you could see more holes in stuffing. I'm a loose crocheter, so I have to figure out if this is a matter of I need to crochet tighter, like use a smaller hook, and I don't want to go too much smaller than the one I'm using. Or I've also seen where when your stitches get tighter, your holes get bigger. So it's not a matter of being tighter. It is a matter of tension, though, of adjusting it so it fills the space right. And that's not necessarily holding your tension tighter. It could be using a smaller hook and then not pulling really tight. I have to play around with that still. This is not my forte. The people who make these for a living or just, design these and stuff, they probably have much better advice on how to do this. And so I just have things that look cute, but I probably wouldn't sell for money because they look a little gappy to me. They don't look as pretty as the ones I see online. So.
That and it's single crochet forever.
A lot of it is. Although there were some half doubles in there.
This one actually had doubles to make the ripples, which is cool because like the edge.
Yeah, it actually
edge
has like
ripples.
I can see it there. Yeah,
For the bottom of his robes, but
which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But yesterday, one of our customers said that making death out of single crochet was both awesome, literally and figuratively, because it's single crochet.
It's death. Yes. It's losing the will to crochet at one point.
Yeah.
So this I made the cube and I stuffed it last night, and I made his little schnoz. And I don't have the safety eyes and things that the pattern calls for, so I'm probably gonna fudge that with some black chenille. But I mean, look at this. Like, it's gotten looser and fluffier because I've crocheted with it. These little guys came in. These little 25-gram guys came in, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so small.
What's the yardage on it?
Hang on, 65 meters.
Okay, so almost 70 yards.
Mm-hmm. And actually over 70
Over
yards.
70 yards.
Almost 75.
Math.
Math. Well, okay, meters to yards, we tend to add roughly 10%. So add 6.5 to 65, and that gives you a little over 70. They look the same size still, but this is probably expanding a little. But I've done the body, I've done the schnoz, I've done ears. These little guys are going to go on like this. They're gonna be so cute. I'm working on the legs. I know I can get it. I'm guessing I can get at least one squirrel out of one little itty bitty egg. We're calling them jelly beans, kind of. Maybe even two. We'll see. Because at first I was like, they're so little, and we have a bunch of them, but they're just so little. But when you're crocheting on teeny tiny hooks for this size of fluff, it actually goes quite a ways. And these are under $3 per, which I think is just awesome. And I'm looking at all the other colors going, I want to make all the cute little figurines I see on Etsy now, like all of them. But I have other projects I'm working on too. So I've just started for morning meditation. I showed a magic ring to start one of the legs. But a lot of crocheted figures at this point, it's kind of like working in a spiral. So the good designers account for that. Like this person, to make it square, things might feel like they're getting off track, but they actually, because the beginning around kind of travels a little bit, the good designers account for that. And it also means instead of combining rows and you kind of see a seam where you start a new row, you have to mark your beginning of round so that you know where your next round starts, because you're really just kind of spiraling up on things. But it's kind of fun. Even if mine aren't perfect, I'm not trying to sell them. I'm trying to just show people what you can do with the yarn, so it's okay.
And they'll all go, well, Death's going in my office, but your little guys will go on the table.
I might
and
make
friends.
all different squirrels and put them up there, and I want to make like we have a crocheter who wants to make frogs, and now I want to make frogs because I like frogs. And I saw little puppies online. I saw so many, and like a little like cube. Basically, they call them a no-sew cat, which means like they're no-sew figures. Are pretty much like I have to sew on the ears and the legs and the tail on this. And the no-sew little figures are like little bubbles with maybe a little extra embellishment so you know what kind of animal it is. But I'm so excited to try them.
Support chicken.
I could. I gotta find it's not the really popular emotional support chicken pattern online is like a big knit one. But we we have a crocheter who's making little ones. I could learn how to do those. That'd be fun.
Kathleen told me this was my emotional support, Death. You could make a mini emotional support chicken for Death to hold.
Oh no. They're all emotional support animals right now. That's just what they are. So, but I want to also show you the other things I'm working on, because even though it's National Crochet Month, most of what I'm making right now is knit. So, like nothing else that's crochet is enough to like show people anything. But let me start with the spring make-along is Brioche. So I am trying to do some brioche. The pattern that caught my eye was Dandelion Fields by Leslie Ann Robinson, because she's just so awesome at brioche patterns. And I started years ago. I started the Rebel 2 shawl, which is like a tribute to Carrie Fisher for Princess Leia. And it has like it has little bubbles that look like Rebel insignias at the edges of it. But part of the reason I stalled out on that is one of the main colors is a yarn we don't carry anymore. So we got new colors of Per Thin, and no, they are not online. Our old colors, and we got refills of the old colors. So if you're looking for one of the old colors, check on the online shop. We might have it back in stock. But then we have new colors. This one is Red Cliff City. And I wanted to pick one of the new colors and use it in as the background in this shawl. And then I was trying to pick out, I kind of used group consensus on picking out a color to go with it. And someone said sparkles, and I went, ooh. And I picked out a bunch of sparkle and non-sparkle, and Liz helped me narrow it down to a sparkly teal. So these two colors. And I have...
Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous.
Isn't it pretty? It's, well, okay, so my dilemma is I was thinking about having a light color to be popping in the front. And this has sparkles even if you can't see it. This is still really pretty. It hasn't changed, the background hasn't changed very much yet, and you might not see much of it online, but it's kind of like, if I show you the backside, it's a red going towards a purple.
I can see the change from far away.
From far away.
It's very,
right?
very,
it's very subtle
still.
And when I block this, more of this will be visible. But Dandelion Fields kind of, it keeps expanding, and it's going to have some decreases in it too. Our last session of our make-along skills class, which is going to be in May, is on increasing and decreasing in Brioche. And but this is how it's going so far. And it's going to be a half circle shawl in that it expands evenly all the way out. So having it on the needle right now, on the cable, helps you all see what's going to happen with this. So I was thinking I'd have a light contrast to this, and so it's pretty. I'm adjusting, though, to having a dark contrast in front. But I still think having the background, like, slowly change, the pearl bumps in it slowly change. It's going to be really fun. So I've slowly made progress on this because I've been distracted by so many other things. And let's see. So different technique. Brioche is like ribbing with two colors. The other thing that I've been working on that caught my attention, I think it was published in either the end of January or beginning of February, and that was when I was trying to cull my patterns, but I still had to start this. Cheryll Faust published a new pattern called the Dark Matter Shawl. Look how pretty that's coming along. And so, once again, I picked a color of Perth. This one is McLaren Veil. Again, it might not be online, even though it came in before this color came in. But it came in, I think, like either right before or while COVID was hitting us. And this one, I'm just doing a cream as my contrast. But this is Mosaic. And Mosaic is, so both Brioche and Mosaic, you only hold one color at a time. And there's slip stitches involved. But Brioche is always going to have a squishy rib. And Mosaic is going to have more of what looks almost like a stranded color work. But this is garter Mosaic, so it's much more bumpy. But I really do like how this is coming out. Like, I'm seeing more fun things going on with the pattern when I look at it on the camera here. But this is going to slowly change color as well, and I'm really excited about that one. So all of that's fingering weight. So speaking of fingering weight, here's another one I can show off. So speaking of white squirrels as well, the PetiteKnitter. This one, the Cube Bunny is I'm trying to remember who it's by now. Yeah, sorry, she made bunnies too. The Cube Squirrel, because everything I got, if there's a squirrel on it, I have to make it a white squirrel because Brevard's known for their white squirrels. So this one, I can't remember the author right now.
It'll be in the descriptions.
Oh, you say that, but I haven't been putting them in the descriptions because I've been exhausted.
Well,
so it's on Instagram, and it's like Bunny Bun. It's Cute Bunny Bun or something like that. She's out of Ireland. She's awesome. But the PetiteKnitter just published both a sock and a sweater pattern, but it's all fingering weight. It's all teeny tiny. 4-ply for our Brit folks. She published called Siksik, S-I-K, one word, and it's for Arctic squirrels. And so, of course, I am knitting this with it's the signature sparkle 4-ply in Silent Night from our Christmas collection, and a sparkly white. and you can see the acorns. There's acorns and then the squirrels. So I'm almost to the white squirrels on my socks. I'm trying out the socks to see if I want to make the sweater, because I do want to make the sweater, but it will take me forever and ever and ever and ever. So, I think of progress. That's it. I'm trying to have one older project along with the billions of new projects I'm trying to make progress on. And my Tecumseh, which I will run and grab that really fast because it's right over there. And then we're gonna have to sign off for today. But the Tecumseh by Caitlin Hunter is the one I'm trying to make progress on, and we just got in more of the yarn I'm using for that. But again, not all of it may be online. The colors we have online, check to see if they were refilled. But we decided that I'm almost at a place where I can start the ribbing. So let me grab that really quickly. So anything else we need to tell people is?
I just did math.
What did you do the math on?
Just the body of my death is going to be about 10 inches.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and then there'll be the hood on top that, yeah.
So he's almost going to be as big as Sunny if Sunny actually stood up straight. Actually, no, that's how big Sunny was supposed to be if he was made out of smaller yarn.
Chippy. He'll be a little bigger than Chippy.
He'll be more like Chippy. Yeah. Okay. So this is my Tecumseh. And he's still on stitch holders from, like a barber cord from Knit Night. Brain, words. But I think, and I'm not trying them on right now. This is not a true reflection. If you really want to know how well it's fitting, try it on. Don't just hold it up like this. But because we have to go open the shop in a couple of minutes, I'm not going to throw this on yet. Once I get the ribbing and stuff done, maybe I will throw it on for y'all. This is about 9.5 inches past sleeve separation. I think I'm going to go to 10, and then I'm going to do 2 inches of ribbing. So it'll be about the same length, if not a little longer.
Yeah.
It'll be about the same length as the sweater I'm wearing. Which, the Avena by Jennifer Steingass. I love this sweater. I wear it all the time. The neck on this one I think is going to be a little tighter. Yeah. So if not everyone likes... Jennifer Steingass has very wide necks on her patterns, most of them. Not necessarily ribbing unless some of them have optional ribbing. So if this feels too wide, check out a pattern that has ribbing or add ribbing, or Caitlin Hunter stuff is not always as wide. It really depends. Sometimes the yarn is going to stretch. So
sometimes it just relaxes.
Yes, relaxes with time. And there's no guarantee with that. So it's, if you want to make something tighter, you're going to have to add a crocheted edging or something. You're going to have to modify the pattern. So anyway, I'm really excited about this one. When I started this, I was like, it's going to be amazing. And it went into timeout. So, but once I get to the sleeves, people, yesterday at the shop, people went, just make it short sleeve. And I said, but there's color work on the sleeves.
She's going to like that.
So when I get done with the color work, I'm going to lose the will to knit and want it to be done. But, So too many things to work on. And too many other things to try to get done to even get stuff in the online shop. So it's not because I'm knitting these that things aren't in the online shop. It's because it's a different level of energy and a different focus at a different time to do that. So. And
yes, this whole week she has lessons going on in the morning.
That's the other thing, is getting back to lessons and pattern help, which has been, like, I'm booked through the next week or two, means less time to do all the things for further away people, like getting stuff online. Because that could be something I could train Hannah to do, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Because Hannah's doing other things.
Hannah's busy doing, she's like, the reason the yarn is up on the shelves is because Hannah's putting it into the system and putting it away. Yeah. So it suddenly becomes so busy. Yeah. Which is, yay. I'm not upset about that. It just means we can't get everything done for everybody. We're trying. Yeah. Okay. Last entertaining story before we go is, and it's very quick, is just because, y'all miss our Peter Parker stories about the mice and stuff and the cat. And because we've been very, like, straightforward lately, is so my routine with the cat now, after the morning pouncing, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
The stalking is like he gets really miffed if we don't have our like pillow time. By that I mean I sit on the couch so I can put up the morning posts, and I put my legs out on the couch so he can sit on my legs because I am his pillow for part of the morning.
Yeah.
And you know he's extra miffed when I get home if we haven't had pillow time in the morning, which means I am his pillow. And so that happened this morning while I was putting up morning posts, and my leg fell asleep while he was on, because I think
He's not a little cat.
He's 15 plus pounds. He's probably close to 16 pounds now. And I think it was, instead of having a blanket over me, the blanket was under my feet. So they were slightly elevated.
Yeah.
So so he's all cozy, and I'm like, hon, I got to go to work. And I'm like, okay. Like, there's a phrase he just knows. He's like, oh, that means I have to get off. And he gets off, and he's not upset. He's had his pillow time. And I got up and went, I can't feel my foot. Or most of my leg. I went, this is going to be, like, I had to make sure it could support my weight at first. And then that's the one of the, then you were like, I'm halfway to the shop. And I'm going, I'm hobbling up the stairs. I didn't say that, but I was like, I was a peg leg for a little while.
I've had my leg fall asleep, and like when it is completely asleep before the pins and needles happen,
it feels like it's not there.
It feels like it's not there. So you're like walking around in your ankles,
and
doing
it's all
this.
flopping around. And I'm like.
And then pins and needles happens, and you're like...
I was prepared for that. I was prepared for the pain, and I got through that okay, but it was the whole, I have to gingerly walk around until sensation starts coming back, because I don't know where my foot is.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. So, pillow time. That's what that means. It means my cat uses me as a pillow. And we're going to go open the shop now. I have a lesson coming in half an hour, so I've shifted it so they're not walking in right when we finish filming, because that's always a bit much. But I get to teach double crochet today, not with this stuff, but you know, I get to show them the cute stuff I'm working on. So anyway,
so cute.
What do you always say at the end, Liz?
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
And we'll get this video up as soon as we can around my lesson. Actually, with a half hour, I might be able to get it up before my lesson. I might not. I don't know. See y'all next week.